Have you ever wondered what it takes to become one of the wealthiest people on the planet? Not just through luck or inheritance, but from pure grit, intelligence, and a vision that started in childhood. Today, we're diving into the incredible life of Warren Buffett, the man who turned a few dollars saved as a boy into a multi-billion-dollar empire. This isn't just a story about money. It's a masterclass in patience, discipline, and thinking differently from the crowd. Our story begins in Omaha, Nebraska, in 1930, right in the heart of the Great Depression. This was the world little Warren Buffett was born into. His father, Howard Buffett, was a stockbroker who later became a congressman. From a very young age, Warren was fascinated by numbers and business. While other kids were playing with toys, a 6-year-old Warren was buying 6 packs of Coca-Cola from his grandfather's store for 25 cents and selling each bottle for a nickel, pocketing a 5-cent profit. It was a small start, but it sparked a lifelong passion for making money work for him. He wasn't just selling sodas. Young Warren was a whirlwind of entrepreneurial energy. He delivered newspapers, sold used golf balls, and even set up a pinball machine business with a friend. By the time he was a teenager, he was already filing his first tax return and had saved several $1,000s, an absolute fortune for a kid in the 1940s. He was reading every book on investing he could find in the Omaha Public Library. One book in particular, 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000, ignited his imagination and set him on a path to find his own ways to build wealth. When it came time for college, Buffett initially went to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, but felt he knew more than his professors. He transferred back to the University of Nebraska to finish his degree. The real turning point, however, came after he was rejected from Harvard Business School. It seemed like a setback, but it led him to discover that his intellectual heroes, Benjamin Graham and David Dodd, were teaching at Columbia Business School. He wrote to Dodd, telling him he thought they were dead, but now that he knew they were alive and teaching, he had to come study with them. At Columbia, Buffett was a star student under Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. Graham's philosophy was simple but profound: buy stocks for less than their intrinsic value. Look at a stock not as a flickering ticker symbol, but as a piece of a real business. Graham taught him the concept of Mr. Market, an imaginary business partner who shows up every day offering to buy your shares or sell you his. Some days Mr. Market is euphoric and offers high prices. Other days he's depressed and offers low ones. The key, Graham taught, is to ignore the mood swings and use his irrationality to your advantage, buying when he's pessimistic and selling when he's overly optimistic. This became the bedrock of Buffett's entire investment strategy. After graduating, Buffett wanted to work for Graham for free, but Graham, being a stickler for rules, initially turned him down. So Buffett returned to Omaha and worked as a stockbroker for a few years. Finally, the call came. Graham offered him a job in New York. For 2 years, Buffett honed his skills, analyzing company reports and finding undervalued gems right alongside his mentor. This experience was invaluable, but Buffett knew his destiny wasn't on Wall Street. He belonged in Omaha. In 1956, at just 26 years old, he moved back home and started his own investment partnership, Buffett Associates Limited. He gathered money from family and friends, about $100,000 in total, and put in only $100 of his own. He explained his ground rules clearly. He would only tell them what he was doing once a year, and he wouldn't tell them which stocks he was buying. He was managing his own money alongside theirs, so their interests were perfectly aligned. This small partnership was the seed that would grow into the behemoth we know today as Berkshire Hathaway. During this time, he met Charlie Munger, another brilliant mind from Omaha. Their friendship and partnership would become one of the most successful in business history. Munger helped evolve Buffett's thinking. While Graham focused on buying fair companies at wonderful prices, Munger pushed him towards buying wonderful companies at fair prices. It was a subtle but crucial shift. Instead of just looking for cheap cigar-butt companies with one last puff of profit left in them, they began to focus on high-quality businesses with durable competitive advantages, or moats, that could compound their value over decades. This led Buffett to one of his most important discoveries. In the late 1950s, he started noticing a struggling textile mill called Berkshire Hathaway. Initially, he bought its stock because it was cheap, a classic Graham-style investment. The company was consistently closing mills and using the proceeds to buy back its own stock at a price higher than what Buffett had paid. But when the company's management tried to lowball him on a final buyback offer, Buffett got angry. Instead of selling, he bought more stock, took control of the entire company, and fired the manager. He now owned a failing textile business. It was, by his own admission, a huge mistake. But from the ashes of this mistake came his greatest triumph. Instead of trying to revive the dying textile industry, Buffett started using Berkshire Hathaway's cash flow, however small, to buy other businesses, first in insurance like National Indemnity Company. He realized that insurance companies collect premiums upfront and pay claims later. This creates a float, a large sum of money that doesn't belong to him, but which he can invest for Berkshire's benefit. This float became the rocket fuel for his empire. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Buffett, through Berkshire Hathaway, began acquiring whole companies or large stakes in iconic American brands. He bought See's Candies, a business with incredible brand loyalty and pricing power. He invested heavily in the Washington Post, Coca-Cola, and American Express, often during times of market panic when others were selling. When Coca-Cola's stock crashed after the new Coke fiasco, Buffett saw an opportunity. He knew the brand's global power was intact and invested over $1 billion, a stake that would grow immensely in value. His philosophy remained consistent: be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. He famously sat out the dot-com bubble of the late 90s, facing criticism for being out of touch. He simply stated that he didn't invest in things he couldn't understand. When the bubble burst, his discipline was vindicated as his wealth soared while others crumbled. He did the same during the 2008 financial crisis. As the global financial system teetered on the brink of collapse, Buffett invested billions in solid companies like Goldman Sachs and Bank of America, getting incredible deals and projecting confidence when the world needed it most. Today, Berkshire Hathaway is a sprawling conglomerate, owning everything from railroads and utilities to insurance giants and beloved consumer brands like Dairy Queen and Duracell. Warren Buffett, now in his 90s, still lives in the same house he bought in Omaha in 1958 for $31,000. He still drinks Coke, eats at McDonald's, and reads for hours every day. His life offers us timeless lessons. It's a testament to the power of starting early, of continuous learning, of thinking for yourself, and above all, of patience. He didn't get rich quick. He got rich slow, by letting the magic of compounding work for him over an entire lifetime. He transformed a small-town boy's ambition into a global legacy, proving that with the right mindset, you don't need to be on Wall Street to conquer it. You just need to find great businesses, buy them at sensible prices, and hold on for a very long time.